Hi, there we go. Good
Hello.
morning, afternoon. What I don't know what it is. It's
Hi, it's Tuesday.
Tuesday. Wow, it's the day went by really quick.
It did, and
We
so did
literally just finished eating.
we did. We're sitting there. She's like, "Oh, I guess we probably should get our stuff together." And I was like, "Oh crap! It's 9 after 3." Still sitting there with our
day.
lunch in front of us.
I was.
It was weird.
It just got away. The phone.
The phone. The
phone.
phone was ringing. Those Wonder Pets.
Right. What a day.
It's been one.
Yeah.
But that's okay. It's been a good day. It's just been we are making phone calls, taking phone calls. It's just lots of phone stuff today.
Yeah. It is. It just.
But it's been a good day.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of been like a Monday, but it's
it
not
has.
a Monday.
It's just kind of an odd
Yeah.
thing.
It's a really
so,
not a great mouse for you.
yeah,
Pad.
we'll make it work.
Okay.
I know.
So-
I don't plan to create a whole lot.
Okay.
So we'll be okay. We'll be all right. So we're gonna play on some software today. But
Yeah.
hi, Mom.
Hi,
Oh,
Mom.
and she's clarifying. It is afternoon.
Yes, thanks. It's good to know that somebody is paying attention. It obviously
knows when it
wasn't
is.
me. I didn't actually change the sweetest pie this morning, so the buy-in is still there,
there.
until I get to changing it.
We're running late, so you get more time.
We were not on this morning.
were
so
not.
last chance to get sweetest pie bundle offer. You can do it by deposit or pay in full.
Yep. So it looks like our fabric, if it hasn't already shipped, should be shipping.
Very soon.
We checked in with our rep, and she said they were a little behind because of the holiday, but she was going to check. Hadn't heard back yet, but
So
we'll see where that's at. And
yes.
we're just waiting on just a little bit.
Yeah, we're
And,
so close to being ready. Our quilting designs are done, and that's what goes away for our pre-order.
Right.
Is our
The freebies.
freebies, yes. You'll still be able to get in on the fabric and the
course.
embellishments and the designs, and you'll be able to.
The shirt I'm wearing has it like right up against me. Maybe I need to move it
Down.
somewhere. I don't have anywhere to. I don't have anywhere to put it.
The struggle is real.
So I can't. Then it's over there.
Turn it. Oh, try that. There you go.
We'll try that.
We'll try that. So that is what we have for sweetest pie. It looks very cute.
It does.
There's some new colors of felt and a new velveteen coming out. They'll be in the kit,
Yep.
but that is part of it.
And that's really shiny. It's distracting me. The binder and the new color of tape dispenser is also coming. So looks like those are shipping starting tomorrow. So we'll have that binder looks super cute.
It does. If
And
you're like a happy
we
planner.
were literally just talking about being organized before while we were waiting on the countdown to go down. We were literally talking about getting organized and being organized and moving things around at home, and that's what you did this weekend.
I did.
I didn't.
You thought about it.
I thought about it. I did. I bought some more project boxes, for lack of a better word, things to actually get organized with. But I got organized in the aspect I've got that quilt off the floor. It's now
over there.
over
Yeah.
there, and
Yeah, it looks cute.
I'm really happy with it. I was a little surprised by my size of when I got it. Like the bottom half was a ½ inch bigger than the top half, and I went, "How'd I do that?"
Shoot.
Well, shucks. So we had to get a little creative there, but
Yeah.
no biggie. That was.
I found I had. Do you ever like save pieces of paper because you're like, oh, this would be a really great idea to do something later? So I've had this stash of stuff since before I worked here, of just stuff that I wanted to create or do. And so I unearthed the folder again this weekend. Every time I open the folder, I get a little bit inspired to do some
Well,
stuff.
sure, yeah.
But
we all need that little kick in the
just
butt, right?
reminds me of how many things are on my like my want to do list. It's just crazy.
I actually have a list, a to-do list on a whiteboard.
Yeah.
And it's like I look at it, and part of me is like, "Go me! I got great ideas," and the other part of me is like, "Go you! You really suck. You don't have any of that done."
Way to procrastinate.
Way
That's
to
kind
not
of what
have any of those projects
like that,
finished.
yeah.
I haven't been able to cross any
one
of them.
off. I know.
I do have. I can crawl up there, cross off cup of cheer. I haven't crossed that off yet. But
Yeah.
I have way too many things on that.
I know. I'm sure everybody else is the same way.
Do you ever get in your craft room and you're like, I don't know what to work on?
Yes.
And it's like, I have all these things I want to do, but I can't focus. I don't know what to do. So that's why I did it, so that I could look up there and go, okay, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
That's why I wrote them down, because I always get up there and I'm just like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. What should I do? So that's why I wrote it down.
That's when then I'm like, I'll just refold this pile of fabrics because I want to be in the room, but I really don't know what
to
do because
Yeah.
I don't have like 4 hours, right? So I only have a little bit of time.
It's not enough to start or to actually get anywhere on any of those things. Yeah. So
because do you have your pile of projects that like when you open the box back, you really have zero idea where you were
left
at,
off?
and you're like, it's going to take me days in order to figure out where
that's
I
why
left
I don't
off.
scrapbook anymore. Because it's like, what year did I leave off on?
Exactly.
Oh my, yeah.
But the binder that is coming from Kimberbell,
Yes.
We were talking not too long ago, like the instructions, right?
We print them off and then I lose a page, or
the binder will be great.
the binder will be really great for getting all of that put in a spot.
And it's Kimberbell cute.
And it's Kimberbell cute, and it's got tabs, and I think it even has stickers.
It does.
Yeah, I think it has stickers. It looks super cute.
It's
and
kind of like a planner for your Kimberbell.
It is.
stuff.
I mean, you could use it for other things as well, of course, but it's super cute. I'm excited, and I am an office supply junkie, so any binder, that type of, I'm totally into anyways. But I mean,
It reminds me of a happy planner.
It-
That's
it
like a
kinda
3-ring
does.
binder
Yeah,
instead of our disc bound
instead of
stuff.
the disc stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that's coming, and I'm super excited about getting one of those. I'm trying to remember, I had it all programmed. Did I put the price on it? I think
yes,
I did.
yes.
So it is on the website if you want to pre-order it. We do have 12 coming because we have 12 of everything when they're new come in. We're on the auto ship for 12 of anything when they come out with something. So
Yeah, and those of you who have pre-ordered your tape dispensers already.
yeah, we do have a few of those because
They'll
that's
be
been there for a
coming.
while. We knew how much that was going to be. So the price, and that's been live for quite some time, but the binder just went live a couple of days ago because they just posted the price. They didn't tell us how much that was going to be until literally like 2 days ago.
So then we were told a secret. We can't show it, but can we say it?
She didn't say I couldn't say anything.
Yeah.
She just said I couldn't show it.
We can't show you a picture of it, but
There's going to be new fabric.
there's new Kimberbell fabric in
and
February.
a new project series, it sounds like.
And it's
maybe?
kind of sewing related. Yeah.
coming out to be released in February.
Right.
So
So we should be able to share information maybe later this month.
I would think so.
Yeah,
that it'll
sometime in
probably come
September.
out sometime in September. We'll do a pre-order for that. It sounds like there's going to be multiple projects. So I don't know if it's going to be like a quilt book
Like a project
type
book.
project book where you have the large project and then you have all of the other projects that coordinate with that kind of thing. You get the bonus projects. If that's what it's going to be, or not sure exactly.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
Because we've seen a picture. But there's a new fabric line and some new basics, it looks like. And
Yeah, it'll be super cute.
it'll be new fun stuff. So that looks like it's coming out beginning of 23. So,
Yes. So if you
February.
see sneak peeks someplace else, know that we know it's coming, and we'll have ours up and posted just as soon as we can. But we'll do a pre-order. We will
Yep.
do
As soon as we get enough
quilting
info to have
designs,
something for you
and
guys, we'll do it.
We might even have a special file for Design Center that corresponds with that for people who have
So.
Luminaire 3s and Solaris 3s, Visions updates. So we have learned some new stuff.
We'll show you a little bits of that today when we get into the PE or palette, whichever it is that you have. There's some great new options that we can bring in our own type of file that we would like, whether it be a motif, so decorative stitch, or whether it be the decorative fills. We can actually add those in and then play with them in the design or the IQ portion of our machines.
Which is really cool.
So we can actually add those in. So you can design your own in your software and then bring it into the machine. So we'll talk about that. And Sarah and I were, thinking, you could see the smoke flying.
Right, it was crazy. We're like, can we do this?
Can we do that? How can we make this work? So we'll see if we can actually come up with some designs that maybe you're not fluent in how to do that yourself. You're not comfortable doing that. Maybe we can come up with those for you, and you can just download it, buy it off of our site, and put it in your.
Yeah, or maybe you don't have
or maybe
software.
you don't have the software to create it. So,
but you have the fancy machine.
But you have the fancy machine.
Yeah.
Or maybe you have the software, but you've never turned it on. That would work as well. So.
Yep.
Hi to everybody that's been popping in since we got started. So I think we probably have most people here that we're going to have. So we'll get going into
screen. All right.
the software. So today we're going to talk about PE or Palette 11, and the layout and editing program is, I think it's a really straightforward program. So I have used multiple different types. This one is different than the others that I've used. You've used an even different from those as well. So there's, they are not all created equal. They definitely have different backgrounds and nuances to the different programs and how they function. So PE and Palette function with a dongle, which is how those particular type work, which is different than some of the others.
Yeah.
So
the good thing about a dongle-based system is you can load the program on as many computers as you want. You really only have to transport your little key, which is like a USB-based key. So that's a really nice feature. Some dongle-less programs, they prevent you from having so many installs at a time. Lots of times it's 2.
Yep. Very common. 2 is the magic number.
Right, which is great if you know your computer is dying and you can uninstall one and then reinstall it on your new computer. Sometimes, unfortunately, our computer dies.
Our computer crashes on us and we can't get back into it.
And then you have to have one more step with contacting them to sort of uninstall a license.
Release that other one so that you can install it on the new one. And
yeah, which can be a little bit of a hassle, but big picture, you're not paying for updates, upgrades to the software.
Those keyless or dongle-less, so there's nothing, you just turn it on and go, are generally a little bit more expensive to begin with, but you never have an upgrade cost. All of your, anything that they do, you get for free.
Yes.
Where the PE and the palettes, those have the dongle, at least in this version. We're on version 11. To go to version 12, you would have to pay for version 12.
Yeah.
So there's going to be different levels.
Hi, Dad.
Doesn't mean, hi, Dad. Doesn't mean that you have to go to the next version.
No.
And there are updates, just like on your machine. The updates are always free. So if they find a little glitch somewhere or some coding that needs to be rewritten to make things move smoother
or in
whatnot.
This instance they added a new hoop so that we could have access to that, those types of things.
Those kinds of things, those updates are always free, and it's never necessary. We have a lot of people that come in and ask, do I really need to go to 11? Well, we'll have a conversation with you and well, what is it that you do? We'll be honest with you and hey, maybe that's not for you.
There hasn't been a ton of times when we've said yes. I would
must
say
go to 11.
If you have a Luminaire or a Solaris and you have upgraded to the current upgrade, so if you're at a number 3 now and you don't have version 11
you don't have
software,
11, you should be at 11.
And you use your software, you really would benefit from moving. This is the only time when I can think of, like in the history of all histories of software, where I said, somebody should go from like the previous level to the current level.
Yep. You would definitely benefit from the bump.
Right. They really did add some cool features. And some of those things we're getting ready to show you right
Yep.
now. So are you
let's
ready to take it away?
take it away, Vern. Here we go. All right. So this is, there we are. Love it when your mouse goes on hiatus.
I
And
know,
you just
right?
can't find
Where'd
it.
it go?
It's like they need to be like bright purple or something so we can see what's happening. That would be so
Absolutely.
nice. So this is the main screen. For anybody that's completely new to this, instead of the word file, we get flowers, and the flower changes with which version that you're running. So we have this really pretty blue flower up here. So this is your file button, and that's going to basically give you all of the things that you would normally get under file. How to open a new page, which in a new page would be you're getting rid of the design that you have on screen and you're starting with a blank white slate. To open a file, you're bringing in a file. To open, that means in this particular software, that means you're going to open a PES. The only type of file that you can use the open for has to have that PES file extension in here. So that is a very basic piece. Anything else you need to use the import feature for. Doesn't mean that you can import it, but you just have to go to a different spot on the screen. So all of those basic things that you would find under file on your Word or those types of things, your save, in print, all of those things are going to be underneath that beautiful little flower up there. And again, those are going to change color based on which version software that you're running. We've got some really great tools here. We're going to talk about some of the favorites.
Yes. Somebody was, the paper dispensers are getting ordered. I was like, my watch is
A paper dispenser?
Paper tape.
Oh,
Yes, the Kimberbell paper tape.
I'm like, we have paper
That's what it
dispensers?
came out on my watch. It blinged and
says
it said
paper
paper dispenser.
dispenser.
And I was like, what is that? And I was like, why are there so many all of a sudden? That was really funny.
So, some of the basic things that we really use software for are your texts and your shapes. So text we've talked about previously. I'm not going to go into detail because we have an entire video on text. So if you have some interest in learning how to use that, I apologize. Go refer to the other video because we have like an hour-long video on that. So we could really do a lot on there. But you do have your basic, you have your small fonts, and you have monogramming, and then you've got large decorative pieces in here. So you've got lots and lots here. One of the things that I absolutely love about the PE and the palette is that you have the ability to add an outline with the click of a button. So if you want a 2-color font, it's literally a click of the button. That is one of my absolute favorites. So as I mentioned earlier, I have multiple different softwares on my computer that I use for digitizing. Depending upon what type of font that I'm using, sometimes that is what decides for me which software I open when I'm going to do that. Because if I want to just have a running stitch or a satin stitch around the outside to give me that little pop of color around my font, I'm opening my PE or palette, whichever one it is that you have, because it's literally a click of the button.
Yes.
So one of my favorites.
One of your
So
favorites,
that's,
yes.
We're talking favorites. That is one of my absolute favorites. It is a basic text. So again, I'm not going to go into detail, but real quick, we click over here, we type in a letter, and wow, that's not very big. Let's make that really big. So right there you see we have, hey, what's up? So I have a single color. If I click on my text here, at the top of the screen there, it says not sewn for the line. All I have to do is click on that. I can do a zigzag and it adds that outside line. I can make that a running stitch, which is just going to give me that little bit of a crisp edge, which can clean up letters so well. And it really makes such a difference when you're stitching. So this feature, literally with the click of that button, makes all the difference in the world on your fonts.
Yep. And you can see that worked because she's got 2 colors on the side. So she went from the 1A.
Over here, I've got a second A now. If I want that to go away, I just go boom, and now I only have 1A over there on the left. You can see that my outside etched line has just disappeared. So it's literally that simple to add a font and then add that extra color. So that is one of my absolute favorite things. It's so, so easy to make gorgeous fonts on here, and you've got lots of font tools and playing things that you can do in here. So shapes are pretty easy. We've got shapes tools here. So we talked last week about a really, really great feature with the Luminaire and the Scan and Cuts.
We did.
And being able to transfer things back and forth. Cutting files are something that are becoming more and more popular. Almost every time that you buy something with an applique in it, you can get a cut file now with that pattern. But sometimes we don't have them, or we have an older pattern somewhere that it came with an outline on a piece of paper, and we're like, yeah, I don't want that. I want that cut file. So if we want to be able to create a cut file out of a shape or create an applique in here, that is also super easy.
It is.
So that is another thing. Again, I'm going to take a star and I'm just going to drag and drop my lines here. So I'm making them hopefully big enough that everybody can see. I've got 2 colors there, so super simple. Back on my home page, so I'm currently, if you can see up at the top here where it's yellow, it says shapes. These are my tools to play with my shape itself. But what I really want to show you is that I have Wizard over here. I can make an embroidered patch, and I can also make an applique. Just by clicking on the applique wizard, I have the ability to get all of those different steps. So this is my placement line, my tack down line, that satin stitch. Do I want that satin stitch, or do I want that to be a different type of stitch? So I've got a lot of play power in here, and it's again all with just a click of the button. I can adjust the width of that satin stitch, so I can really play with whatever it is that I wanted that to look like. I can do that really simply with just the click of a button. Now real quick, I am going to get rid of this because it's going to look really silly otherwise. And then we're going to go back over here. So in here, it's going to go on the outside of my pattern. We're going to widen that just a wee bit. And I click OK, and boom, I now have an applique. So you see that my fill changed. I no longer have a fill stitch there. And if you look over on the side over here by my face, I've got 3 things now instead of 1. So I'm going to click undo, and you're going to see it switch back here real quick. So there's my green star. That's a fill stitch. Now I'm going to redo it. Now boom, I've got an applique. So I've got 3 stitches. I've got a placement line, a tack down line, and I've got my satin stitch that's going to cover up that edge with the click of a button. And if I didn't mean to do it, I have undo, which is also a click of a button.
We love undo.
We love undo. He's definitely our friend.
Yes.
So back to the scan and cut. If you notice, there's a little tab up at the top that says scan and cut.
Is that what that's for?
That's exactly what that's for. So I have an applique here, and I want to send that file that is exactly that size to my scan and cut. And I don't want to have to take it to my machine to figure it all out. I can click on my piece right there. I can select that object and then go to my scan and cut tab. My scan and cut tab, I can click on export, and it says, hey, what do you want to do? I can offset that. So if I want to make it a little bit bigger, I can, or I can say, nope, just make it exactly the size of my file. I can click save and put it on a USB, or look at that, guys, I can send it to Canvas Workspace. And what can we do from Canvas Workspace? We can send it directly to our machine. So we do have the wireless option to go from Canvas Workspace to the machine, no matter what machine you have, as long as you have that wireless. So anything from a 650 CM series and over, you have wireless options. So you have the ability to send from Canvas Workspace. Otherwise, you just save from an to the FCM file, put that on your USB, and pop it into the machine, and boom, you have the exact size that you need to fill in for this applique. Again,
it's bootylicious.
It is bootylicious, she says. That's right. You guys get to see some bootylicious in just a few minutes. So all I need to do is click save or send, and boom, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
That simple. And again, I created this in just a matter of minutes. So if I'm trying to make some simple patch or some simple applique, I've got that cut file very, very quickly. But maybe I need it for a file that I already own. That's not too hard either, right? I just
Nope.
need to bring that file in. So I am going to get rid of these guys here. Come here. All right, and we're gonna come over here and find, where did we put that?
On my desktop.
On your desktop. That's not where it's looking though, is it?
No, you got to hit the fold. There you go.
There it is. I'm
Yeah.
like, where'd you go?
Wherever I was last, which is who knows where. You're still in a folder.
Yeah, but I clicked desktop. I'm not
Okay.
in a folder.
It said from folder. There you go.
I'm in a desktop folder, not on the desktop. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's good.
All right, so we're going to come over here. We're going to try it this way. It's a PES, so it should open. Do, do, do. Where'd it go?
It's called that.
1, 2. Oh, it's a BMP. That's what you put there.
Oh, I guess that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go from
So where are we going?
go into files.
Which files?
My OS. So my main file.
Your C.
Yeah, C drive.
We're just going to go find a file that we know has a cut file in
Yes.
it. Don't mind us.
Embroidery designs. And then that was an OESD file.
Yeah, because there's only like 2 in here, right?
And that was like fall.
12, 9.
I think it's that one. There he is.
He's fun?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, nope. Woo, look at you. You don't fit. So, we're going to real quick get us a larger design space. How big are you? 5 by 7. All right. So, here's our cute little kitty. And you can tell that he's an applique because
He has a scowl? No.
because he's frowning at you. So it's a great question, Kathy. We would be sending that to cut. So we can't send directly to the scan and cut from our software, but we can send it to Canvas Workspace. And from Canvas Workspace, we can send it to the cut machine. So whether you have a CM650, whether you have a, actually, I feel like the 550, if you bought the wireless, you could also bump that one, but it's been a long time. So I know the CM650s, you could do wireless, and then all of the DX machines have the option of wireless.
Right.
So you would send to Canvas Workspace, and then from Canvas Workspace, that wirelessly connects to your scan and cut.
Because we are talking about
The applique cut file.
the cut file part, not the embroidery design right
That
now.
is correct.
Even though this is an embroidery design.
So this is a standard embroidery design that we found in a OESD folder on her computer. So this was purchased from OESD. So we're not creating this. This isn't a built-in shape that I did anything. This was a purchased file. All right. So we all have those, right? So this is a file that may or may not have come with a cut file, depending upon when it was purchased and when it was created. But I know there's going to be a cut file in there, at least somewhere,
trim
that
file.
or a trim file that
Yeah.
I need. So there is a line behind him that I want to cut for that fabric. Okay. So I can grab that file and I can click my scan and cut tab. Helps if you have it selected though. Maybe we can try that. And they're all grouped together. So let's, we got to split them little babies apart. Where is, okay. We're going to pick just that guy, and now we're going to go to Scan and Cut and export him. So here is that one piece of fabric that I needed for the cat. All right, so I'm going to go back out so you guys can see it. If we are zoomed in just a hair more, all right, so here's that zigzag line that's going over the outside, and we've got decorative stuff going on him, but we don't have any fabric inside the cat's head. All right, so that is, where's my line? All right, so same thing up here, and then we've got a little zigzag that's over here that's evidently part of that line.
I feel like that was probably like one of those, we talk about sometimes when you take a design
That's added in that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, we probably could have just drug
probably get rid of that. But all right, so I got rid of those guys. But what I wanted you guys to see is the lines here is what we're talking about. So this would be what you're looking for that applique. You're going to want fabric to fill in for the head.
It's going to be.
And then the satin stitch will cover up the edge of the fabric. But we need that cut line to send over to a Scan and Cut. At least that's what we're proposing that you would want at this point. All right, so that's what we're looking at here. So when we have our line here, but we don't have a cut file that's already there for us, your palette or your PE can pull that. Nope, not palette. PE will pull that out because palette doesn't have Scan and Cut because it's not a brother product. My bad. When we click on that and we have that selected, we get the little black handle boxes that says it's selected. When we click on Scan and Cut, my export is now available to be clicked. I have to have something selected I'm basically telling the machine what I want for it to be.
You can't just export air?
I could export all of it, but I can't export air.
Darn.
Nope. I have to have something selected. So if I don't have anything clicked, when I come in here, let's go back out. So when I come in here, if I don't have anything selected, so I'm literally, when I go into the Scan and Cut, now of course, now I already have it. It's going to prove me wrong. There we go. So I don't have the black dots. I don't have an export option.
Right.
That's what I was trying. I had to get off of it before it would let me get back to where I was trying to show you. So you need to have the black little dots on there. So we're going to go select that object. Dum, da, da, dum, boom. Now I can choose that. Once again, I can say whether I want it to be on the line or slightly outside of the line. Sometimes, depending upon what we're looking at, we want a little extra coverage. All right. But you have that choice and you can tell it what you want. And then again, here's where we were talking with Kathy. We can send it to Canvas Workspace, which is our website that we are sending to, or your desktop, either when. But that's going to be where you would then send to the machine, your Scan and Cut machine, not your sewing machine.
Yes.
All right. If you don't want to do it that way, you can simply save it to your computer and put it on a USB stick and take it to your Scan and Cut that way. That would be saved to FCM.
So if we are going to send it to Canvas Workspace, we have to be signed into our Canvas Workspace.
We do.
And when we send from Canvas Workspace to our Scan and Cut needs to be on. Is that correct?
It does. Yeah.
So
again, can't send to air.
You cannot. So
it needs to know where to go.
If you're getting an error when you're trying to do these things, it's probably because something isn't on or signed in.
And you do need to be connected onto your Wi-Fi signal.
Yes.
So not just powered on, but connected to Wi-Fi.
Yep. So like I tether to my phone all the time at home because my Wi-Fi syncs. It won't work. If I'm on my cellular on my laptop and I try to send to my Scan and Cut, because they are not on the same network. So it does have to be on the same
network.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am. You nailed it in one. So I think that that scan and cut feature, which again, apologies to all of you palette people out there, that is a brother feature since it's a brother scan and cut. That is one thing that is different between the two. But it is a really, really great feature to be able to pull those out and very simply add that in, add the bump in size if you want to, just by that slide, and be able to add that very, very simply.
I feel like Scan and Cut has something in there that allows you to save a cut file. It just isn't an FCM file.
True. You mean the scan and cut itself?
No, I meant the palette software. I feel like there's something that
so
will
artwork
yes.
will work.
So instead of there being, because there's no scan and cut for that, if you have palette software, there is an around.
It's just not as, unfortunately, it's not as simple of a around as you were,
yes,
as it is. But the art, it needs to be an artwork file.
Yes.
So more of a vector file.
Yes.
Instead of a cut work or a embroidery file.
Yeah, like an SVG file.
Yep.
And I do believe that you can save that file as that. So
again, it would be just the straight line is what you're looking for. You
Yeah.
would not want to save a satin line or anything in that nature if you have palette and you're looking to send something over to a scan and cut.
Yes.
It's been a little while. I can't remember. I know I've done it in multiple classes, but I can't remember. Have we saved in a machine on screen to show how you can do it right in the machine? Because that's relevant on either a baby lock or brother.
It's been a while.
But I think we've done it, but I couldn't tell you when. Maybe we can touch base on that sometime soon too, and just refresh that. So there's a way that you can take an applique file from your embroidery machine and save it to your USB so that your scan and cut can read that cut file as well. So lots of ways to get there. It's just that poor cat that's on screen here. We're going to skin them just multiple ways.
Keep going.
We're just going to keep going. So the scan and cut feature is, again, a really great piece there. And the ability to just pull out the cut file. Even if all I needed to do was just get the cut file, and let's say I do have palette. Once I have them separated, so I can select one instead of all of them, which is divide by color, I can delete everything except that first color, and then just save that file, and then that would read that straight line as a artwork file. So you could cut from there.
So the cat already has a file, but the pumpkins do not. Could we, that's a pretty simple design. Could we take our pumpkin shape and make those pieces applique?
Let's see. So we're talking that guy right there?
Yeah.
So it looks like we've also added some really interesting lines to our pumpkins. So it won't work the way it is at the moment, but give me just a second to play with it because we've got these weird dots. So you want to talk about what we're talking about with the added, so see how there's this line coming out here? You want to explain why we have these dots out here?
So this design was not originally created in this particular brand of software. And sometimes when that happens, there's a click or a jump stitch or something that the software just kind of plops into the design, which inadvertently can cause you wreak havoc on you. Like that's kind of what happened, like why he had like a weird hat at the beginning of this design. So
just added a couple random stitches.
When you read instructions and they tell you don't open the software, don't open your design.
Don't open the design in software.
Just save the file extension that you need and then copy that to a USB
Copy and
stick.
paste. Don't open.
Because these things do happen.
They sure do.
They sure do.
Unfortunately, they happen often.
Often, yes.
My favorite is when I'm making cards and it adds like a running stitch.
Yes.
All the way through the card.
And you're like, what?
It just punched holes all the way through my card.
It happened.
What just happened?
You can't put paper back in that hole.
Put paper back in that hole. No.
That should be like a saying now.
You can undo stitches, but you can't put paper back in a hole. It just doesn't work. Okay, so what we were talking about was, can we take this pumpkin and turn it into an applique?
Yeah.
That's what you were asking, right? So we're still zoomed in, which is all well and good. But what we want to know is, can we take this guy and change it from a fill stitch into an applique stitch? That's a great question. Let's find out. So first thing we have to do is, of course, have the item selected. So with it selected, we do have that applique wizard button. We have zigzag width. Let's see, because those are really tight. I probably don't want much of a zigzag. Let's just pull that down a little bit more. What do you think? Give it a go?
Let's give it a go.
All right, so nope, that's not what we wanted. So let's divide by color in addition to that. And split. So what I am doing is splitting these pieces of the pumpkin up. So now I just have that one slice of the pumpkin, because I think what it was trying to do is connect them all together, which I don't want. So I'm going to see if I can take just that one slice of pumpkin at a time and make that what I want it to be. So let's see if he will pay attention. Distance from original. Nope, nope, nope. Yep, yep, yep. Nope, still not what we're looking for. Let's take you and convert. Nope, not you. Lots of buttons here. Sometimes it's easier than others. This is where that new feature on the luminaire that we were talking about last week.
Because we would do it with just a push of a button.
just a push of a button right there. All right, so applique. I think.
What if
It did it with my star.
change it? What is the outline or the covering stitch? Do we have like a non-covering stitch to get like a chain stitch? Nope, it's really getting big,
It's
isn't
just
it?
going outside of that.
Okay, well, it didn't work.
It didn't.
Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't is right. But what I'm wondering is, because that basically, I'm thinking it's the type of stitch that's there is what's preventing it from
I wonder if you can change your fill stitch to because the top one is already not sewing.
So now that I have that, can I applique wizard him? Why is it doing that? This is the fun part about software. You just keep pushing, try this one and then undo. And try this one and then undo. So what we really need is that outline, but I can't get him to convert to an outline, just an outline. He's too big too. All right, well, we're not going to keep going on this, but now I'm like going to do it when we get off air, because now I'm going to be like, why can't I make this work?
Okay.
But yeah, so this is being able to pull your cut file is certainly
easy when there's already a cut
very
file.
easy when you have that line. Being able to trace out that, so I certainly could trace that very easily and create a applique from that. That would be very easy. But taking it, this is what we were talking about last week, is this is not easy, even in software. You got to find just the right button, and it really does matter how the stitch was created, whether the software is going to amicably change it the way you want it to go. So this is the problem, which we were talking about last week.
Exactly.
Which is why that new feature, when you do that whole
nice.
thing. So let's, those are the couple things that I wanted to talk about. The background fills are also my favorites.
I know.
but you're going to talk about
I'm
that in
gonna
a
talk
little
about
bit
those.
more
All right. So
in
we have
depth-ish.
this new feature that allows you to create your own background quilting designs and or line properties. So this is the layout and editing part of the software, and it's the part that people use in the most often. But towards the right-hand side of your screen over here, it's right underneath the Leabu logo in the corner. It says Options, and under Options, we have Design Center, we have Programmable Stitch Creator, Design Database, Font Creator, Stitch Design Factory, and then our other options. We want to go into the Programmable Stitch Creator option here, and I already have one open here. We might have to stop and reshare here. Give me just a second. Let me make you smaller. There we go. Now let's move this. All right, so what you're seeing on this side here is a preview, but I made some ghosts, and so I actually drew these. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna copy one here. I'm gonna copy two.
There you go.
Except for his eyeballs are not part of it.
Ah. Copy.
All right, so I'm going to go into new here so that you can kind of see how this gets started. So we're going to open here. This is that file place that we go to. I'm sorry, it's cut off on the screen a little bit, but it's got little pictures of stitches. And we're going to go to a new decorative fill pattern. So we're going to, and I don't need to save this. All right, so we have a new page here. And from here, we can add our own, just making my preview here. This is where we create our own design. So we can open the file over here, and you can see I already have some files in here. These are just PNG files, so there's gnomes, and these are my little ghost guys. So I brought my ghost up, and he comes in gargantuan on my screen here. So I've got my little boxes over here in the corner. I'm gonna make him substantially smaller so that he will fit in my area. All right, so you can pick any part of the design, or you can pick the entire design. But if you have ever done any type of digitizing in any of our software, you know that it's basically with literally just the click of a button. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here to my home screen at the top, and I'm going to select my draw line tool. So when I select that, my little icon on the screen changes, and I can then click around this guy. And all I'm doing is literally clicking around each of the design pieces in here. You can do this in separate sections, and you don't even really have to be really, like, you can be kind of sloppy because you have the opportunity to go back through and
make an adjustment
and make it whatever, you know, the closer your points are together, the more round they will be. But essentially what happens is when you get the design where you want it to be, whoops, undo.
Yeah, you got to get out of there first.
There we go.
There you go.
So I'm just going to hit the enter button, and I've created some designs. I know that my design started because my preview page is over here. Kind of looks like the cat butt right there instead of my little ghost guy. But from this point on, I could start editing my design. I can copy, I can paste, I could go back in here, and I could recreate the little circle pieces, his eyes, all of that stuff. But at some point, I'm going to need to not see my image in the background. So I'm going to go back up to my View tab, and I'm just going to delete my image from the background because I don't need him up anymore. So now you can see my rudimentary drawing over here. And let's zoom in just a little bit so that you can see that a little bit better. So here is my little ghost. And if I would like to edit him because he does not look very ghost-like yet, I'm going to hit the select point option, and then I'm going to highlight him. And you can see all of my dots have appeared. So from here, I can add more basically points, or I can delete points. So this guy over here is a pretty straight line. If I put a little dot in the middle of here and I pull that out, you can see it kind of curves the design. So that's how you get a little bit more curve in your area here and have it not be so boxy. And then you're just going to keep editing your pieces and parts until you have the design like you want it. So I'm going to select. Oh,
You lost him?
I did. I can't put him back on there now, but I can undo. So he's back. So all you have to do is continue to edit him until you're happy with the results. This is the part that will take a little bit of time and patience to get your design looking the way that you want it to be.
So this one has no curve versus straight?
It does not. It is all points. So you can have a grid in the back. So we don't have the grid showing, but you can add a grid. Things to know about adding a grid is when I have a grid up there, it will like snap.
It'll automatically snap to that, right?
Yes.
So you're boxing everything immediately.
You're making boxes, yes. So you're probably going to want to turn that off when you're trying to make your circles so that you can get your rounded edges. But if you're trying to make sure that something is lining up on a point, turning your grid back on for that point, you can see that's exactly what just happened. See, it kind of is just going exactly where that point is. I don't have any control. I can't be in the middle of it. It's just going to go to a point. But as soon as I turn that off, I have all the control of where to put that. And let's say I want this to be a little bit more squirrely. So here's not that box, this box. Here's my, I take the end and I bring the end where I want it to be. So like if I didn't make it as long as I wanted it to be, but now I can add in a bunch of little dots around here. And then I can get this to be more circular by adding in more of those spaces. So you just keep editing to get your little swirly dudes to be
where you want them.
Where you want them. And then you can, this is a really rudimentary design here, but we can select everything and go back to our home screen, and we should have our copy, paste, duplicate options. So right now, this is what it would look like. If I copy him, then I can move him on my screen. And I can rotate. So you're going to want to make sure that you edit him before you do your copy and pasting.
Otherwise, you have to edit every individual one.
Mm-hmm. But now we can keep rotating him, and you can see on the little screen over here what it's going to look like as we add those design elements. So this is a really ugly looking.
And so the really cool part about this is not only can we play and then use that in the software, using this as a background fill here.
Yes, we can take this into our sewing machine, our version 3s, so our Luminaire 3 or our Solaris 3, and we can add these as background fills.
Because there's that new custom tab.
There is a custom tab. So this is really ugly. So let's actually go to a new one here, and really quickly.
You want to save that?
I do not, thank you. So new. No.
Complete sentence.
And let's open one. So there are designs that are already built into here, and let's find one that has, okay, that's got a lot of points to it. So this is one of the fills, and if you have a machine, you might recognize this design. But we can also take apart
You can
take
edit
apart parts.
You can edit what is already there.
Yes.
To completely change and or add to whatever you want it to do. So the class that we were just taking, there was 54 built-in fills in the software.
Yep.
Where there's 48 now.
Yep.
In a Solaris or Luminaire with the upgrade or number 3.
So we can start deleting parts of the design, and you can see,
if you watch that preview box on the right, you see that it is literally changing as
we're
things
doing this.
are being deleted and altered. Can you control A?
Yeah, the whole thing.
The whole thing. Just curious.
If I zoom in, you can get a little
Sections.
bit better. Yeah. So then when you select your point,
you can select that section.
Yep. And then I can get more points at a time. But you have to be able to get to your point. That is, but still this is way quicker than creating my own design for sure. And let's zoom back out and actually take something away that you might be able to recognize. So let's take this guy out.
Excuse me.
So you can see it's really starting to open up in here. And I don't have to worry about like selecting something else because it's only going to select
the part that you have selected.
Yeah, the boxes that are there. I still never give myself a wide enough box.
Yeah.
So let's just leave like the circles on. Won't let me do more than one at a time. That's all right. It's getting quicker.
So again, this is one of the built-in background fill patterns that came with your layout and editing software. We've brought it into the Programmable Stitch Creator, and you can literally edit. So if you have all of these circles, that is what we're focusing on here, we could literally get rid of everything but those circles, and then we could fill the whole page with just circles if that's what we wanted to do. So depending upon, if there's just a portion of something that I really love this part of something, but I don't really like this other part of that, you can literally just piecemeal what you've got there and make what you want, rather than having to start from scratch and draw the entire thing yourself.
Who wants to draw those circles, right? Not me.
Be SpongeBob and draw the perfect circle.
Right? Except for I can't draw the perfect circle. And we saw what my ghost looked like.
Your first ones look pretty good when you weren't trying to hurry.
Right? The hurrier you go.
Yep. All right.
Okay, so now we just have globs of circles. So let's get rid of these guys. All right, so now we have these. So select. There we go. We have one whole glob. And let's duplicate. So now you can see how much fun we can have. Oh, that's kind of cool though. Just offset them a little bit. So you can have like little doodles or scribbles. Then you can duplicate the whole thing. You can do individual pieces. You can get a whole bunch of them. You can undo.
But literally whatever you want. That's the cool thing. So in here, you have the ability to create background fills of anything. In the new machines, you have the ability to save 12 programmable background fills in the machine at any given time. You can overwrite those whenever you would like as well. So it's not just 12 and then you're done. So when you hit number 13, you choose which one you want to override that's in there to fill that in. You just can only have 12 at any one time. So it's I think it's pretty cool. You can have as many as you want in here. So you can keep creating them and then just pull over what ones as you need them. And if you don't have a Solaris or Luminaire, so you don't have that feature, you can use them all in here and still have the ability to resize and do those things. You just have different features in here than you do have in the machine. They're just a little bit different.
Absolutely. So you can just keep adjusting these. I can make these bigger. I can have some bigger circles in there, overlapping my little circles. So you can do whatever you want, and you can have as many pieces on there as you want, and then you can save these. So you can save, if you're editing a file, make sure that you do a save as, so
And
that you
change the
don't
name.
override your existing version. Absolutely.
Otherwise, the original file goes bye-bye.
Yes, but we can literally take this file when we save it to our USB stick, and we can literally just load it into our Solaris, our Luminaire, and anything that you can do in the Design Center with those fills, you will be able to do with these. It will automatically resize them for you, so you don't have to worry about you know, making it bigger, making it smaller. Let's say you are doing a Kimberbell project and you really just want to do bubbles. So if you create your bubbles here, then you can basically just dump these bubbles in every single one of your block sizes. And if you do the same size, so you have 100%, you have 120, 130, if you made sure that you had 125% each,
Throughout every block, no matter what size square it was,
they would all
They
look
would all be the
exactly the same. Yes. So you wouldn't have to worry about resizing or doing anything like that, which is really a fabulous, fabulous feature. The only disadvantage of the Design Center part is that we've noticed sometimes it has a mind of its own. So
it stitches where it wants to.
the path is not the least resistant.
Yeah, so you might have a lot more knots on the back than you were planning. Because it doesn't necessarily, I'm not sure if you're drawing this and it has a start and a start. I don't know if that would,
It didn't matter.
Did you try one like this? Okay.
Yeah, I just took apart a different one and I brought in circles at home. And the circles still went not in the same manner that I drew them. So I purposely did like left to right, a group of circles, and then put them in there, and it still went middle, right, left, center. And I was like, okay, well, at least I know it's not me.
No, it definitely goes all over the place. Anyway.
Yes.
That is the only thing that you don't have any control over when you use that.
But
so.
it looks good when it's done, and that's really all that matters.
It really does. Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And if you have a machine that has this feature, you have a thread cutter. So you're not going to be cursing jump stitches.
Wrong.
Because the machine itself will go ahead and do that. But we will have more stuff about this, and we'll take the time to create some fun files to show you guys at some point. This was just a little bit of a snippet of one of our new fun favorite features. And you can do this with embroidery type stitches. So like you can make line stitches as well.
Yep.
So I do not want to change.
Sorry, I don't know where that came from.
And we are no longer sharing. So
Yeah, so those are programmable fills and the decorative motifs.
yes.
So lots of things that you can choose. So if you've always been dying to create a duck stitch or a angel or a, you know, the class that we were watching earlier today, she used her initials.
That was so cool.
And it was just like, why didn't I ever think of that?
Yeah.
I mean, but it wasn't like just stupidly plain. I mean, she twisted them into being, it was really neat. But things that you wouldn't necessarily have just thought of. And it was funny because the one thing, I didn't even realize those were K's.
Right.
The way she had them like butted up against one another and then
twisted and
multiplied
turned.
out. And I was like, oh, yeah, there's one. There's another one. You know, it was very neat. But to be able to create those and then have them being repeated, she had an embroidery that was that, and then she had a matching quilting
Line.
stitch.
Yes.
It was really, really sharp. And I was like, I could do that.
Yeah, we could do
It's
that.
like, I could
You
totally
will be
do that.
looking good.
It just was, that's one thing that I really like about this time of year is when we get to watch those fun classes and things. You get inspired because you do get this chance to see other people's ideas and what they did, and your brain starts
going a mile a minute.
and you know, I gotta get my whiteboard out and
Right.
start writing down more things. So hopefully this helped you see a couple of the little things that are in the software that and that they're not hard. It's literally just clicking some buttons, and when it doesn't do what you want, you click undo and you
Start
click
again.
another one.
Yes.
Because there's always going to be another button, and that poor cat, we can
Keep on
keep
skinning.
skinning him. So hopefully that was helpful to you out there and that you enjoyed that. And we will do something again next week.
Yeah, we don't have anything else this
I
week.
don't
You
think
have
that we
class.
do. I have class. We're going to do in-store on Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday will be virtual. And then
So she'll see some of you then?
I will.
Yeah.
So looking forward to it.
All right.
All right. You guys have a good one. Take care. Next
Bye.
time.